58-year-old registered sex offender Richard Cox is facing more charges in Arlington County after he allegedly exposed himself to women and children in women's locker rooms at schools and rec centers. Cox faces 22 charges that include several counts of indecent exposure, being in proximity to children and entering schools, and taking indecent liberties with children. And Arlington police say more charges may be sought as more victims come forward. 7 News' Nick Minock shows us how one of those victims spoke at last night's Arlington School Board meeting, demanding the board change their policy that allowed Cox in the girls' locker room.
My 9-year-old daughter and I walked into the Washington Liberty Women's Locker Room on September 9th, 2024, and were stunned to see a naked biological man standing among little girls and moms and changing after swim class.
On Thursday, this mother told the Arlington School Board they need to encourage victims to speak to police and to change APS policy that allows people to use school locker rooms and bathrooms based on gender identity. That policy allowed 58-year-old Richard Cox to use Arlington girls' school locker rooms. The schools have indoor pools open to the public after school hours. In court documents, Cox said he identifies as a transgender woman. In September, Jen McDougal says she met with School Board Chair Mary Cadera and told her about what happened to her and her daughter. Cadera said APS added signs encouraging people to be considerate of others and cover private parts in locker rooms. But Cox continued to use schoolgirl locker rooms, according to police.
On Thursday, I emailed Mary Cadera and asked her why was that her solution instead of calling the police immediately. As of Friday afternoon, Cadera did not respond.
At a January school board meeting, Cadera said she did not know Cox was a sex offender when she met with McDougal.
The sex offender was let go in Fairfax County.
McDougal is also frustrated that Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney Steve Descano did not prosecute Cox months earlier when he was charged for exposing himself in Planet Fitness women's locker rooms. Now, in a budget hearing next week, Supervisor Pat Harity is proposing to cut Descano's budget since he's prosecuting fewer cases.
We're looking at a potential $300 million shortfall, over $300 million shortfall. His office has doubled and he's doing less. I think that's the first place we should be looking to cut. Certainly not our fire department.
And Harity is pushing to rescind Fairfax County's locker room policy that allowed Cox to use women's locker rooms at Fairfax County rec centers.
I understand you spoke to a family member of one of the victims. What did she say?
That young girl is still traumatized. She had to run and lock herself in a bathroom stall and wait until she felt it was safe to run out of the locker room. It's unbelievable that women and girls are being asked to use the family locker room so that Richard Cox can use the girls' locker room.
Nick Minock, 7 News.